Roomtone Podcast is a show produced by us, three movie nerds shooting the shit while talking about shooting the shit. Each episode builds upon the last, so we recommend starting at the beginning. Now, let's make a movie.
It's time to
die.
Yeah.
Brother.
That too.
Yeah.
I just might.
No, you can't die. We have so much
JK.
unfinished business.
Yeah.
See, I think I'm going to start threatening that.
If we don't finish this movie.
Unfinished business every time someone says they want to die, because then I'm like guaranteeing you come back as a ghost.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, which actually might work against me.
Yeah, because we'll just haunt you.
Yeah, I would beat your ass.
No, I mean, wouldn't you guys want to be a ghost?
No, I want to die.
No, that sounds kind of like, it's like purgatory.
Yeah, that's fair. It's basically a living hell.
Yeah. I feel like that would be a real bummer after a while. I wonder, Lo, like, would your perception be the same as like a normal person in time, you know? Like you are just constantly aware of like everything. You are up for like 24 hours. You don't sleep. I'm assuming so. I'm not a ghost.
Right.
But you're just kind of you're just fully conscious all the time. Do you think time will eventually? Do you think like it would like slow down for you? Like would it feel kind of endless, or will it like speed up? Because like it's just like day by day by day, you're just kind of seeing things go.
That one.
I think so too. I think you kind of live outside of time.
Yeah, I think if you're immortal, time ceases to matter, so it doesn't hinder you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want that. I just want to be done.
That's fair.
I mean, like, it would be cool to like be a ghost for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the whole eternal life thing is not for me.
I think I want the Patrick Swayze experience.
Of course you do.
As we all do.
A hand job and a cigarette?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Thank you very much. What does that mean?
I don't know. What's the Patrick Swayze experience?
From the movie Ghost.
Oh, that's right. He was a ghost, and he like. Oh, so you want to go and like do ceramics?
Yeah, he wants
Yes,
to get...
exactly. Exactly.
I mean, that's cool. That's cool. That's fine.
Yeah, I want to be a ghost. I want to like learn how to impact the world. I want to solve my unfinished business, and then I want to ride the golden escalator.
I'm not gonna lie to you. When you said Patrick Swayze for a second, the reason why I didn't pick up on the reference because I thought you meant Patrick Stewart. And I'm like, what does he do? Like, what's happening there?
Is that where hand job and a cigarette comes from?
Yeah, it's like his American Dad character.
Yeah, I mean,
or cocaine.
Or cocaine.
When you are Sir Patrick Stewart, you get whatever the hell you want.
Amen.
If that's a hand job from a wizard, so be it.
Is that what you want most of all?
Have you met me?
Why'd you bring that up?
Do you want a hand job from a wizard?
Or did he do something about that?
Well, no, I mean just he's best friends with Sir Ian McKellen,
Right.
a famous wizard.
Oh! I thought you were saying you wanted a hand job from a wizard.
Up, gang.
Well, yeah, the joke didn't make sense.
It made sense for people who are diehard fans in that realm. I shouldn't say diehard. People who know just life.
Well, to be fair, if you know a wizard, I will take a hand job.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, guys, can I tell you a quick story about this weekend?
Yeah.
Please.
Okay. So I was doing photography for a gay couple this weekend. And the only reason why I mention a gay couple specifically is because there was a bar there and Morgan opened a tab.
Yeah.
Right? And they just kept her card on file. And at the end of the night, when she went to go to retrieve her card, she specified it's the rainbow one. And the guy was like, you're going to have to be more specific. And then pulls out a shit ton of like rainbow colored credit cards.
No way. That's fair. Fuck yeah.
It felt like that scene from La La Land where he was trying to retrieve his keys from the valet, and he's like, "It's the Prius one." And then he looks over, and they're all like Prius.
That's fair.
What? That's fucking hilarious. Yeah. I love that.
It's so funny.
So did she get her thing back?
Yeah, she got her card back. She just had to find the one with her name on it.
That's just fair. Yeah. You're gonna have to be more specific.
Yeah.
What a great
so funny
situation.
I also like went up to that guy and like I ordered a Sprite and I saw he had grenadine. I'm like, "Ooh, can I get a Shirley Temple?" And he looks at me and he's like, what we call it here is a kitty cocktail. Do you want a kitty cocktail? I'm like, I don't care what you call her. She tastes just as good.
I want my maraschino cherries, please.
Just what was a highlight from your guys' trip?
We saw 2 otters.
Aw.
We did. That was great.
Did you name them?
No. We didn't. Well, we named that one and the otter one.
Ah, I love that. Is that canon, Maddie?
No.
Oh.
No.
But it is now.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Named after the fact.
Yeah.
No, that was cool. We saw 5 deer swimming across the lake.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah, that was fucking crazy.
You don't really think of deer as being able to swim.
That's fair, but I guess they have to get from place to place somehow.
I mean, like, how far apart do you think those islands are?
100 yards?
Yeah, so like 300 feet, these deer swam straight shot across. It was crazy.
And it's like a 50-foot deep lake.
What?
Yeah, like
What?
just their heads were sticking up the whole time.
Really?
Yeah,
It was gnarly.
It was
Were-
crazy looking.
Were they all like deer or doe or like were any of them bucks?
No
no antlers? One of them was little. He was kind of falling behind, but he made it.
Mhm.
Yeah, did you actually like make sure like
Yeah,
To
they
watch
all
them
made it.
We were
across.
sitting in the boat, but we were like still at the dock.
yeah.
So we were like, fuck, man, we hope you are good. Because
Good
if you
luck,
like start
yeah.
to struggle, it's going to be a bit before we get out there. But
Yeah.
we you know, with all of them together, it was like we assumed that they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they all made it across just fine. But
yeah, it's like you don't really think of like that thick body and like those spindly legs really being able to move in water at
Yeah.
all.
How fucked up would it be if like the deer when they popped out of the water they just had like gills on like the side of their neck,
ooh, that'd be awesome.
right?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Would you try to like document it or like how like what would you be your
At
like
least try to
reaction?
get a picture.
Yeah.
What would you
They were
call
way
that?
too far away.
Oh yeah, they were dots.
I
in
mean,
our
like, we
vision.
thought they were sharks. Like, literally just,
Yeah.
like, a pointy head sticking out of the water.
Yeah, someone just goes like, "What the hell is that?" They look like shark fins.
Yeah, it was
'Cause
weird.
It was just like a black triangle in the water. Luckily, Maddie's mom had a pretty good pair of binoculars.
Yeah.
So we were able to use those. What would you call an aquatic deer?
I don't know. What's a fun name?
Well, what do they call what's the aquatic horse?
Seahorse.
Yeah.
No, fuck you.
A sea deer.
I'll call it a sea deer. And then a group of them is called a CDs.
Ah, nuts.
Yeah, there's a joke in there somewhere. what like it's like half horse, half dolphin, or whatever the fuck.
Like a Capricorn? Or, I mean,
A Capricorn?
like,
They have-
Capricorns are like a goat mermaid.
Yeah, not that.
Okay.
A Capricorn?
Yeah.
I've
The
never heard of this.
it's in God of War. It's like the creature that takes you down to the
A siren?
A
the-
Drekkie?
a Drekkie.
That's not a horse, though.
Oh, what is it?
That's like the big, like, lizard dragon.
Oh, so not that. A Kelpie.
Kelpie.
Kelpies, yes.
Kelpie is what I'm asking about.
Right.
Okay.
No, they are
Aquatic.
not real.
Right. So maybe we can base the deer name off of that.
Okay, what about
Kelp deer.
a kelp deer? Okay, I like that's a good base. We're good base. How about Calypsy? I feel like that's something.
Calypsy? That's cute.
I like Calypsy.
A Calypsy.
I mean, yeah, it's. I like it. I like it. If you see a
Oh.
deer out there with fish fins,
Capricorn.
Capricorn. Nah,
Is this like a real animal?
it's a mythological.
Nope,
animal.
nope, it ain't. Nope, the goat mermaid isn't real.
Sorry to
Sorry to
disappoint
burst your
you.
bubble.
Fuck.
Was that going to be your persona?
Well, that's why I was like, that's why when you were saying like, what's the horse, like aquatic horse,
Yeah.
and I'm like a seahorse. Like is that what you were saying?
That was
No.
the right.
So I was
what I
looking
meant.
for like a real animal. You guys were thinking mythological. Well, now we know if you see a deer with gills, the first thing you should do is pause or room tone. My name is Austin Pezza. I'm an amateur filmmaker, and my movie/TV show recommendation for the week is Hannibal. I don't think I've recommended that yet.
Hey.
So old story, but Maddie and I started a thing where we would get together and like do a little bit of charcuterie and watch Hannibal, one of Maddie's favorite shows. And we kind of fell off it just because like I had to like rewatch some episodes, and like I had to do that on my own time. And so I eventually did it. I recently did it, and I really appreciate the show more now. Like giving it another rewatch and not feeling as like sleepy as I was like the last time we were watching.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm glad you like it more, and I'm excited to continue watching it with you.
Yeah,
Because it's the bomb.
I want to know what's what.
What would you say is like the key reason you recommend other people watch it?
Put me on the spot here, man. No,
Oh, yeah.
no, play. I think the cinematography is really well done, and like I love the like way that they display the two main characters, Hannibal and Will's kind of like methodology when they're like solving like their own like kind of crimes. They solve it in their own way by like Will being so empathetic, I guess is the word to say, to these serial killers, that like he's able to like get in touch with like what they want, what they desire, and like what their design is. And then on contrast of Hannibal, where he's so far out of empathy that he can see like logically based off like the moves that they've done and like the things that they left behind, it like solve it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they're both solving it, but they're solving it in like two different spectrums. And I feel like they presented that really well when Will was like in, spoiler alert, when Will was in prison and like Hannibal was starting to work for the FBI. The FBI, and like how he got connected with like these killers compared to how Will gets connected.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, and oh my god, it is so hard to not talk about stuff that happens after that.
Yeah.
So we gotta watch it again.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. I'm excited. Yeah, and like back to the cinematography. I mean, yeah, I was so proud of them and like continue to be. As like every time I rewatch it, I'm like just so it's like so artsy. It's so pretty. Like they really just take their time to be like, let's just like the food porn shots, like all of the food, and like they just take their time to like get in on a close up and like just like slow things down and like tell the like real emotional story with like trippy fun visuals just to like get those beats across. And yeah, I feel like they just have so much fun with it.
To your point there, I really love when like you see Hannibal, cooking or whatever, and like, you see his perspective of like this very fine art of like delicately preparing the meat and showing special care and attention to it, either right after or even like in between them talking about the gruesomeness of how he achieved that meat.
Totally.
Totally. Like it's nuts. It's very fun. And like you kind of see like how Hannibal sees it. Like they're cattle to him. Like we're no different. Like humans are no different than a cow.
Yeah, one of my favorite sequences is when he's having Jack over and he's like, so what am I about to put in my mouth? And Hannibal goes, rabbit. And Jack goes, he should have hopped faster. And then it cuts to like a guy being like chased down in the woods. And it cuts back to Hannibal and he just goes, yes, he should have.
Yeah. That smug motherfucker.
I know, I fucking hate him.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
He's ridiculous.
My name is Austin Swain. I'm an animator and video production specialist in commercial advertising, and it's time for another round of Oz of, what is it called? Swain's Totally Untested Terrible Life Tips.
Let's hear it, buddy.
Are you like me? Do you worry about overcharging your cell phone in the night? Here's a tip. You have an outlet that's connected to a light switch? Put the phone on that.
Love it. Love it.
Is this a joke? Like,
It's terrible. It's a terrible tip.
right.
I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
When I started this, I started a list
Yeah.
of ones that I liked.
Yeah.
I'm kind of out of that list.
Right.
And so this one was kind of deep in there.
Mm.
And as
Hell
soon as
yeah.
I said it out loud, I realized it didn't make much sense.
Mm-mm.
Catch me next week.
All right.
Dog guy.
Hey.
Just let your fucking phone charge, people. It'll be fine overnight.
The joke was going to be that your phone can only be charging while the light is on,
Yeah,
and how terrible that would be.
I get that.
But then I remembered that most of those socket switches are just the socket.
That was a terrible life.
I felt like it was beautiful.
Terrible indeed.
I will try it.
Please do.
And if I'm late for work, please, I will blame you.
Yeah.
My name is Maddie, and my TV show recommendation for everyone is the BBC show Broadchurch.
Fuck yeah. Drop it.
Super dramatic, probably one of the most stressed instances that Swain and I have ever been watching a TV show. Like, very well done for how devastating and heavy it is as a show. David Tennant's in it. He's pretty hot.
Yeah.
His
And damaged.
and damaged, exactly. Olivia Colman is in it. She's incredible and funny and
Damaged.
damaged. I don't know where you can watch it, but I would highly recommend it. It's a great show.
It's on Prime Video. You probably have to pay.
Well, it's worth it because it's very good.
So, guys, what are we doing here today?
Scene 7,
More storyboards.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
Sweet.
We've been working on full storyboards for the film. Since we last spoke to you, we each ended up taking a scene of our own and working on those storyboards. So we now have storyboards for scenes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8.
So suck on
Hell
that,
yeah.
viewers.
That's hot.
Hell yeah.
That got me wet.
On the Richter scale, that makes me Rick.
Yes, that makes me Tor.
And you eagle-eyed viewers will notice that I didn't say 7. Scene 7 in our story is the dinner scene. It's funny, I thought about it today, the dinner scene was your initial pitch, Austin. So this is kind of the core of our story.
Yeah.
True.
And so we figured, we've been working a lot behind the scenes. But today we wanted to kind of work on storyboards together here on the show and give you guys a, kind of that look and watch as we develop a storyboard for a scene from start to finish. I don't know if we'll finish.
Oh, yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we'll fucking see, people.
It's actually, the scene got a lot shorter now that we've, at this point.
Dive on in.
Let's dive on in. If you are on Spotify or YouTube, you will have a video podcast, and very shortly you will be seeing our storyboard template appearing on the screen, which at this point you're likely familiar with, and can watch us draw and discuss as we make our way through Scene 7.
We will be reviewing our storyboards for scenes 5, 6, and 8 on the next episode. Or after we're done storyboarding scene 7.
Yeah, we're rolling.
Should I clap?
If you want. I did say click. Oh, yeah, you got it.
That's enough sinking.
That's my favorite when we ask people to clap
Yeah.
on set. And we're like, okay, camera's rolling, audio's rolling. Can you just give us a clap? And then give on a full applause. It's like, okay, you do.
I really needed that. Thank you.
Yeah. That was really nice, but can you do it for real?
That is funny. I wonder what they're thinking. They're
Yeah.
probably like,
Weirdo.
good job.
So we're recording. We're doing Scene 7. That's white.
7.
7. Donnie hands Zoe a bottle of champagne and instructs her to fill the cups.
What is the shot right before this?
So Maddie and I were working on the storyboards for scene 6 this morning, and scene 6 ends with Donnie with Zoe agreeing to join them for dinner, and Donnie saying, "Then let's eat." And Austin, you brought this up at one point, kind of all of these like audio transitions. And I think that this is another good chance for it. We had kind of talked about at the end of scene 6 when he says, "All right, let's eat." Like he could kind of give a big clap, a la the menu or the like. And then scene 7 starts with champagne. So does it make sense to like clap and do like a bottle cork pop, kind of all as one transition?
I think. Well, let me point this out. The transition. One of the transitions that I can recall from where it's like a sound audio cue is like the joint, and like the transitional noise was like the lighter, like the L cut was like the lighter flicking, and like lighting the joint. Would it make sense for the cork to be like the transition? I don't know. Maybe I'm not making sense here.
Or like if he...
What if he goes to clap, but instead of a clap sound, it's the cork bottle popping, and then it just cuts. Like as his hands come together, basically.
Yeah, that could work. Or he claps, and then instead of a cork, and then we cut to the champagne, but instead of a cork bottle sound, it's the clap sound.
Oh, yeah, I guess that would be kind of fun.
It's kind of the same.
Yeah, you hear like that, and like I feel like the slap is more. In terms of like, again, the audio, the slap is going to hit harder than like a cork pop.
Right.
I guess it depends how we edit it and how we like fine tune it.
But I guess so.
Well, and that's not really him handing her the bottle of champagne and instructing her to fill it either.
Yeah, that's true. But we could start on a shot of the champagne, and then the very next shot could be him handing it off to her.
Yeah.
So, but I guess, do we think that like the champagne popping makes sense? And then we can kind of like fine tune it in the edit, like where the sounds end up and things like that.
I think so.
At least for now.
Yeah.
So starting with shot 1, I imagine like a pretty close up shot of the champagne bottle.
Yeah. Yeah.
It should jizz.
It should jizz.
Absolutely. What's a champagne bottle without jizz?
Hey, so Swain, since we're taking a little moment to go forward here or to draw, do you want to tell the viewers on like some key things that a storyboard needs, like key elements?
Yeah, absolutely. The main thing that a storyboard needs to do is communicate to the DP, basically. Communicate to the cinematographer, communicate to the camera person and the director what needs to be, what their shot wants to look like. And like what is the bare minimum visual element to portray the story. And so it's like you get your objects, your setting, and your characters all lined up in the way that you determine to tell the story, and then the rest of that, on set comes the lighting and the set design and things like that, like all those kind of like things to fill in the gaps. But here, as long as you have just like the basics of what is needed, you can go far.
Yeah.
And so you need that. You need like the composition. So right now I have just like a close up of the champagne bottle.
Yeah.
I imagine like it can't be really much closer than that. Does it look?
It looks like a cock, all right.
Does it look jizzy enough?
It looks
It does
for
look
you
pretty
guys?
jizzy.
beautiful jizzy though. I love
Yeah.
it.
Here's what's inside my balls.
I mean this in such a compliment. I think it looks great. Like
Yes. I think the jizziness is on point.
please, yes. Please don't let our jokes deter.
Yes.
Trying to figure out how to make this look like an arm. That's another.
Brother, me too.
I feel like the whole thing with a storyboard is figuring out where your camera is going to be.
Yeah.
And like just like a storyboard, its main goal should be to tell what the composition is going to be of each shot.
Yeah. So when you
like you said, you don't really need to worry about lighting and all that shit, but you can if you want to be.
If you want to be real specific,
If you want to be real fucking snotty about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, exactly. You get the composition so that you know, okay, what's in the shot? How close do I need to be in the shot? Where is my camera in relation to those objects? And is there any movement?
Yeah.
And I feel like, honestly, movement is one of the hardest things to convey in a storyboard without doing... I feel like, at least for the ones that we've done for this project, I've like really tried to keep like a shot, like a frame on the template to a single shot.
Yeah.
In the screenplay, which is like, if you're panning from one thing to another, how the fuck do you draw that?
Yeah.
Because you kind of have to draw the one thing and then draw the other thing.
Yeah.
As like a start and an end to the pan, which I think is probably the proper way.
But that's a lot of fucking work.
But that's a lot of work. And like, I think we have all been on the same page for a lot of this, and trying to kind of have the storyboard double as a shot list.
Yeah.
I think can be another good way forward.
A helpful tool.
Yeah. On our template specifically, we have a description of the shot, which in a lot of ways should line up with the with the screenplay itself. So all of the different action lines that are in the screenplay should more or less kind of tell you where you are in the storyboard, but that just gives a little bit of information. And then we've been putting in notes like, is this a still shot or is it handheld? Like I was doing storyboards for 8, which is like the horror scene or like the chase and murder scene. And so like a lot of them were like handheld tracking shots, things like that. So more just kind of clues towards what the camera needs to be doing on the day of.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, so this is what I have for shot 1. It's like, it's got the composition and the basic description, and I don't think we need much more than that. So now we can move on to shot 2. Shot to the heart.
When you guys were storyboarding your last sets, or I should say maybe even like in the beginning, did you guys have a hard time letting go of trying to make them perfect?
No.
You know what I mean? No.
No, I feel like that's the key with storyboards is like, yes, of course you can make them as complex as you want, but like as long as you can see what's going on, it's pretty easy to just be like, here's a fucking stick figure. This is what's happening. I don't know. I guess for me, I find it easier to be simple than not, but
yeah. I get that. I feel.
Sorry, I had a question.
Oh yeah.
About the shot
2.
Yeah, so sorry to just jump in the middle here.
No, you're fine.
So the line in the screenplay is Donnie hands Zoe a bottle of champagne and instructs her to fill the cups.
does he really have to hand it to her?
That was my question.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we could just cut from the champagne bottle to like literally Zoe walking like across Lonnie and David and pouring a glass.
Agreed.
I was thinking, what about like a bird's eye?
Oh, yeah.
Like over the table, and then she walks all along the perimeter of it.
I like that.
Might be fun.
And I think we could cut into like a macro shot of the champagne glass filling. Something really nice.
Nifty.
This might sound like a wild idea, but have you guys seen Zodiac?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember that shot where it's a bird's eye view of like the taxi cab, and like the camera remains on the taxi cab as it like turns?
Yeah.
Can you imagine that, but with like Zoe?
That would be pretty cool.
I love the panic already. But my question is, can we just do it in a way where we just shoot it in 4K and then like pop in and then track Zoe's movement and turn the camera in a way that like follows her movement?
Yeah, we could. We definitely could.
Yeah. I'm not saying it won't be jarring. Actually, wait, no, can we do that?
I mean, I don't know if we have that resolution. I think the main thing we would need is the ceiling height.
Yeah.
To like get high enough to like track her movements.
Yeah.
Plus the one thing to remember too here is very soon she's going to reach the chalice at the head of the table, and Donnie stops her.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of have to snap back to like eye level to
That's fair.
tell that story. But I could definitely see for like Lonnie and David's glasses, or at least just the first, kind of that overhead shot. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
This is still, you know what, it's interesting. Like the shots can be a lot more artistic, it seems, in like the beginning and the ends of scenes. Because the middle is like the meat and the potatoes. It's like, all right, we have a fucking story to tell. We have dialogue beats. Like we have action points. But it's kind of interesting, like in the beginning of a scene, you can be a lot more free to just like set the scene, establish the setting.
Yeah.
So do you think we show her filling Lonnie's glass?
I think she should probably just fill one, right? Like she's finished filling one already and she's on her way to the second one and is filling that and then moves on, so it's not like a super long
Yeah,
shot,
so we
maybe?
kind of like see her cross. Like if this is the bird's eye view, we kind of see her cross from one to the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we can come in on like an insert shot of the glass being filled.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask just one quick question about like the shots, or about like the bird's eye view of the shot? What's the subtext we're delivering with that like framing, or is there any? Out of curiosity.
I didn't have any off the top of my head. I just thought it would be a good.
Like composition,
Yeah.
good shot. I agree, it'd be a good shot. I don't have a shot in mind that would add subtext,
Yeah.
but I don't know if we wanted to spend a little time, and by little time I mean like 2 minutes, talking about, is there something we want to establish during this beginning part? Because this is also our shift. Oh no, wait, no. It's not our shift. Our shift is after the chicken coop. But like it's we're more towards the horror portion that we want it to be.
This scene almost plays like a drama.
Yeah.
Well, with comedic elements. I mean, Zoe is definitely, she plays a comedic role in like the prayer portion of this.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know, this isn't like a great approach of just like assigning value to a thing that we've already decided. But one thing that I get from a bird's eye view is it makes everyone feel like a piece on a game board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
That's kind of
more of like God's eye view then, huh?
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Yeah.
And so it's like you start to see them not as individuals, but as like
pawns.
as pawns. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of
Oh God. That's
deep, man.
No, that's kind of sick because like it's not. If we wanted to even go a little bit further and maybe them too deep into it, maybe that doesn't translate. But like, it's kind of like Ronnie.
It's Ronnie's point of view.
It's Ronnie's point of view. Like he's in like this like astral space, and like maybe he does see them as like pieces of like on a game board.
Yeah.
I think that's totally true.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like it makes them feel trapped, which I think is good. It
I-
locks them in a room.
Yes, and I think it'd be interesting too. Again, pause me if it's too much. But like, so like you know how we talk about that first shot is like, or the first shot towards the epilogue is point of view up above like the burial hole or whatever, and as the body goes down, the point of view changed because Ronnie's now back.
He's in the hole.
He's in the hole.
Yeah.
And he's looking up.
Right.
I like it.
That's fair.
God, we're smart.
There's your subtext.
Well, that's what.
Yeah.
So I, mean, I guess I'm wondering though, like, does that translate well?
I mean, we just thought of it off the spot.
That's fair. I feel like I think there's times where like I will make my own subtext, or like it's kind of a reach, you know, where it's like I had to go through some hoops to get there.
But that's, I mean, yeah, but that's what subtext is. It's not text. You know, it's the sub level. You have to look
Shit,
for it.
dog.
You know, I guess that's how I feel about subtext. Is
If-
it's not like in your face.
If we want to make that canon, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think then we should try to fit in some more over the bird's eye view shots,
That's fair.
which I feel like is another conversation. If that's something we
And I
want to
mean,
plan for.
luckily, like, yeah, those shots aren't anything crazy. Like changing it to from above doesn't really usually affect too much.
Yeah, I agree. Like that's one tricky part about like learning something about your cinematography is like, okay, well now how much do we have to go back and like rethink?
Yeah, and then not just like put it on paper because now it sounds like we're not. It's not like an. It sounds like that turns into like a key element into the story,
Which
right?
I don't think it has to.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
It's like, is it looking too much, or would it be too much to go back to it? I think it's fun because I also think it's like it calls back to like us and like just us playing games because like that's what we do all the time. Like we play a lot of board games and you know we play D&D and shit. So it's like we're looking down at these pieces and it feels I don't know. It feels fun.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. Yeah, and I mean, I think that you can think of one shot as like Ronnie's point of view without having to like think of the whole story as Ronnie's point of view and like then have to go back and find ways to express that.
Yeah.
I think that the camera is omnipotent, you know?
Right.
I think it, because, you know, when you're looking at two characters and one of them looks over and you get an insert shot of something, like that's their point of view. You get that insert shot. And so it's like the camera's kind of always jumping between perspectives.
Yeah.
So like I think that this is a really cool way to look at this scene, and I don't think it means that we have to go back and change a bunch.
John Dix again.
Yeah. No. I just had a funny thought.
Let's hear it.
Well, because so here is my shot 3, which I called earlier a macro shot of a champagne glass getting filled. For those who don't know, a macro is actually a kind of lens that can get substantially closer to its subject than most other lenses. But it really just means like a super up close detail shot.
Used a lot during like product photography and
Yeah.
like what you
Bug
said, though.
photography.
Mhm.
But so, you know, we have the overview shot of Zoe kind of crossing over to David, and then we're going to come down. We come in for this insert shot of David's glass getting filled, and then the next story beat is her going to the chalice. So I think it makes a lot of sense for us to come kind of down to eye level, be looking at her, then cross over so that we see the setting that she's going to and go to pour it in. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
One, I was trying to think of like, is there any other way we can like make that shot more interesting of kind of her crossing from David to the chalice? And if this doesn't make sense or fit, that's fine. But would it be funny if like she finishes pouring David's glass and crosses over to Ronnie's, and by the time she reaches Ronnie's, David has already like thrown back the entire glass of champagne?
I think that'd be fun.
Like, I think that's David. That fits in David's character in my mind.
Yeah. He's kind of just like a sleazeball.
Yeah, it's like, thanks for the fucking champagne. It's gone now.
Do you think he would like try to like ask for more by like holding it up or whatever?
I think I think his character probably would. I think that kind of gets in the way of our story.
That's fair.
But yeah, I mean, I could see that. So I mean, that's the risk you run, is like we do have a story to tell, and so like I don't even know if we want to have him slam it. It's just something funny that popped into my mind.
Yeah, maybe not. Unless we just literally have her put down the bottle and he grabs it and pours it before the speech or whatever, and just
Yeah, that's fair.
Like a quick shot.
And I guess it also kind of depends on what we see for when she pours Ronnie's.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so sorry that I'm trying to talk and draw.
You know what you fucking should be.
Right. Because, like, if we end up doing, like, a face-on symmetrical shot of Ronnie's setting, chances are we don't see David.
Yeah, I don't think we need to.
That's fair, because she could just kind of step into this scene and go to pour it. I mean, I think she enters this scene. He cuts her off from there. I think we can probably cut into, like, a close-up of him with, like, you can fill that later, have a seat. And then we can cut to, like, a double shot of her sitting next to him.
Yeah. Next to Donnie, right?
Yep, next to Donnie.
Yep. Hold on. Again, adding a little subtext. What if every time she's framed during the dinner table, she's framed in a single? And then, like, Donnie can be framed with Ronnie and Lonnie can be framed with David.
We actually should probably determine the table settings
Yes.
at this point. Because I think we did have Donnie and Lonnie are probably closest to Dad, right? So then David and Zoe are offshoot.
Yep.
They're furthest. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna have to actually flip Lonnie and David here.
Los Santos.
And no, you're good. It's just a conversation I didn't realize
We needed to be.
we needed to have. I like the message that it sends having Zoe on her own, but I think my worry is losing, like, spatial awareness. Does that make sense?
I don't follow.
And maybe it doesn't matter as much, but, like, I think we want to, as much as we can, like, know where these people are at, and, like, while they're having a conversation and stuff like that.
I feel like that can translate through the cinematography and, like, the spatial awareness. Or and if I'm thinking what you mean by spatial awareness is what you mean. I feel like there have been, like, movies and sets or whatever where they will frame someone on a single and, like, give them more space. And then when they cut to, like, the wide or whatever, they are actually, like, a lot closer to the person
true.
is, and it doesn't, like, feel jarring. It feels natural. It feels
Yeah, totally true. Yeah, let's try it out in the storyboarding. And actually, I've been surprised at, like, how well storyboarding can, like, help you to see how the shots interact. Sometimes I kind of feel like a hand animator when they, like, flip between frames and, like, see how they interact. Just, like, looking at two of them and kind of, like, cutting between them in your mind. It's like, oh yeah, that works.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. So yeah, let's see how it boards. So yeah, the thing that will have to come the very next bit. I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm just saying here's something we have to think about.
No, it's not that.
We're just so childish.
You said the thing that needs to come, and then you paused, and then, like, during that pause, Maddie and I looked at each other and we're like,
Made direct knowing eye contact. Sorry, we're just children.
yeah.
No, you're good. You guys are funny. You keep me young. The very next bit, and something that we'll have to think about, is the siblings go through the prayer.
Yep.
And Zoe is constantly left behind. And so in my mind, it's not every shot is, like, a group shot, but, like, seeing visually, like, they do a thing and she's, like, kind of left to flounder to do her thing.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's just something that we'll have to kind of think about how we want to frame that to, like, get those comedy beats across.
Yeah.
And also, like, tell that visual story of Zoe being separated from everybody.
I feel like that can still happen when we we can have a wide shot where everyone's in frame and, like, we see Zoe floundering, and then we can also intermingle that with tight shots of Zoe being in a single and everyone else being paired up.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be a little bit different each time, obviously.
True.
Which I guess we also should probably figure out what exactly they're doing that she's floundering.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, we have that scripted.
Yeah.
Do we?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I think we have.
I actually really like our dinner scene. This scene.
Oh, that's right. Right as red sibling has a single egg on their plate.
Yeah. So Zoe gets cut off, and we want to cut. I was thinking, like we said, kind of cut into David for a close up. I was thinking he could like motion. I like kind of like the ghoulish nature of like someone who's close to frame, like close to camera, but also like they're looking into the edge of frame. So like if he's kind of looking past camera, he ends up very just kind of like, you can fill that one later. Like it's kind of inherently sinister.
Yeah.
And then I figure we have room for an empty chair behind him potentially.
I like that.
Cool. And then basically we'll just come right to Zoe sitting down.
Like taking her seat. Yeah, that makes sense.
Zoe takes a seat next to Donnie, the sibling stand.
Out of curiosity, what would you guys think of like Donnie pulling out her seat for her?
I think it ruins the
idea.
She's sitting and then they stand and then she has to stand.
I see.
So we'd have to
that makes
restart
sense. That makes sense.
The beginning of that.
Yep.
So do we think like just a straight on shot probably of Zoe
Yeah.
sitting?
Yeah, I think framed up similar to how we framed the introductions.
Boom, baby. So again, I mean, this shot, it communicates the bare minimum. It's like we're going to be kind of at eye level for Zoe. She's going to be centered. We're straight on. We see that she's moving and sitting down into the chair. The rest of the set design and lighting and all that can be handled in those phases and on set. Mm-hmm. Here, we just need to know what's happening. How are we telling our story? So the siblings stand. I feel like we want to see all three siblings at the same time stand, right? Is this like our wide shot of the table then? And we see all three of them stand?
Yes, I think they should be in sync.
In sync.
Perfect. Kind of coming back to that close-up single shot of Zoe as she stands herself. And then we then go to each sibling grabbing the single egg on their plate. So each sibling has a single egg on their plate. They each grab the egg and hold it in their right hand. They reach to their neighbor and cage each egg.
Spider web.
Like a little bird cage made of fingers.
Oh.
With like the table settings and stuff like that, bird's eye shots have been really nice. I think that was on like one of my original mood boards, was like kind of that top down shot of the perfect circles is just like so fun. Mm-hmm. So that's what I imagine as like when they grab their eggs, that's kind of the shot. It's very Wes Anderson of kind of each of them grabbing it. And then maybe we can like cut to a double of Lonnie and David to like have them each kind of hold it out this way.
Yeah.
And then go to do the motion.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of cut into like an insert shot of that motion being completed and you see the egg getting encased.
Yeah.
Just to like show, yes, it's all happening here, and kind of those are the individual movements.
So then to counter that, would Donnie's be he like holds out his hand as if his father was in the room and he's quote unquote caging. And then he can like also extend his other hand waiting for Zoe, and then like as she's like baffled or whatever, he snaps her.
That's so aggressive.
That would be good.
I think Zoe picks up.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Zoe's smart enough. She stood up on her own. I think she'd be there. But I could see like if she... Yeah,
I love that that's the bar.
Yeah,
she stood up by her own.
She's a fucking genius.
Yeah, Donnie would be holding it towards his dad, wouldn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he does. Does David just fill in?
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I think Donnie would reach across the table and David would cage the egg.
Yeah, I guess.
Then they form a circle.
Or they're kind of forming their own egg, doing like a human egg. Like they can try to shape it as like a human egg.
Their hands?
Yeah, and they'll shape an egg, and then like because like we still have the black egg in the middle. It's like a centerpiece, right?
I think we have it in front of Ronnie's chair.
Oh, okay. The only reason why I even like am like hesitant of like David completing the circle is we're cutting off Ronnie at the head of the table.
Right. So what if Donnie holds the black egg in Ronnie's place and Lonnie cages David's egg Zoe cages Lonnie's egg, Donnie cages Zoe's egg, and he holds up the black egg in Ronnie's spot.
That makes sense.
Make a smiley face.
But I guess, like, does that translate?
For Cyclops.
Cyclops face.
Does that
Yeah,
translate
true.
for keeping Zoe in a single?
I think she's gonna end up in wide shots.
That's true.
And I mean, so she's in this one,
Yeah.
not a single. I think we should encourage singles of her. She might be one of the only people to get a single,
Yeah.
but I don't think we should restrict ourselves to them.
Let the woman mate.
Don't force her to be single. But so they each have their own egg. I think they should each be holding a white egg. I just feel like that solidarity makes the most sense to me. I agree that like they don't want to cut off Ronnie. What if they just what if David and Donnie specifically hold their egg over Ronnie's spot?
I feel like that makes
So it's
sense.
like he's taking that spot.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the compromise. Okay, cool. I like it.
Gordon, come here, you little fat boy.
You look so cute.
Okay, so guys, that is page 1.
Hell yeah, brother.
Ow. And I cannot stress this enough.
Ow.
Love that.
Egg.
Egg.
We have an egg. So yeah, I mean this. So we go from this kind of double shot of both of them kind of going into that motion, and then come in for like the symbolic meeting. I think that describes that action
Yeah.
well enough. So, and then we have Zoe lagging behind and eventually catching up. Do we think then we jump to like the double shot of Zoe and Donnie as she's, and like maybe he's kind of looking expectantly at her and she like has to kind of look back and forth and then go into that motion?
Would it be weird if we framed it in a way where like we still had them at their singles and like the camera shifts over to Zoe's point of view and like we see Donnie reaching his hand out
Yeah.
and like that's how we like translate that so we could still kind of keep the repetition of keeping Zoe in a single?
Yeah.
Let me know if I'm fighting too hard on it because I can cut it out.
No, I think we can still have her in a single. I mean, honestly, I think the main thing here is like showing her confused. So I think if we even just cut to her in a single and have her like, huh, what?
Yeah,
oh,
look around.
and then hold out her hand. It's like, it's not important that we see her
Yes.
like thing, because then we'll probably cut to a wide as Donnie starts the prayer, or eventually when Donnie starts the prayer, and we'll see that everyone's connected.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we can just come into that single, see her, what, and then hold her hand out, and then we probably cut into a single of Donnie starting the prayer, and then cut out to the wide when everyone does the response. What if we shot Donnie like from kind of below?
What do you mean by that?
Like when he starts his prayer, we're like almost at chest level rather than eye level, so that he's kind of lording.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Make him like this big figure.
Yeah.
Oh, I could see that.
So then you get this, the
Nice.
big angelic.
Cock up shot.
Yeah, from the cock up.
I love it. Can we actually do a POV from his cock?
Definitely.
So it's just the whole time slumped down on his chair.
But then any time someone says Ronnie, the camera slowly looks up.
I heard my name.
Whenever he hears, "You are his favorite son,"
Just
that
fucking
thing just rockets upwards.
ding, ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding.
You just immediately get a shot of his belly.
Oh, belly. How does belly get so wet?
Oh, you already know.
Yeah, true.
That, my man, is called pre-cum.
It is a seminal fluid from the prostate gland that is ejaculated prior to the full-on.
Is that the legitimate definition?
I was fucking close.
Yeah, holy fuck, dude.
I've done a lot of research into pre-com.
I could tell when you used the word seminal. Donnie reads the prayer, and then we probably do cut back to the wide for the response to show that everyone responds. But Zoe?
Do you want me to scroll down?
Yes, please. Okay, so I'm just trying to map this out. So the wide, other than the wide, we could cut to the double of David and Lonnie repeating. I'm trying to remember, do they all? Oh, so he says, and then David and Lonnie and David respond, from which we all become. So we could do a double on them and then cut really fast to Zoe just being like, what the fuck just happened?
Right.
And then we could cut to, so then I'm just trying to figure out like how do we go to then like showing them all sitting and Zoe lagging behind. Could be on the double for their response. Yo.
Do we need to like have a whole separate shot of her lagging behind if we've already done it twice?
No, I don't
She
think
just,
so.
Like, be in the background sitting down after them.
Yeah.
The shot is on whoever else, and you see her sit like after they've all sat down.
Yeah, that's fair. Because we could be on the double, they respond, and then they sit, and then we cut to Zoe sitting.
Or like we cut to Lonnie or something. Well, okay, so they sit. Zoe lays down. What happens after?
Well, we could just cut to the wide
Right.
of everyone sitting, Zoe lagging, looking around confused, and then they go to place their eggs.
Right. Yeah, I feel like that can just be a wide.
That can just be a wide. It really could be.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the idea of seeing Zoe with like a like now they've said like a prayer that like is a little weird. Like it would be nice to get like a second with her of like, what the fuck? But I don't know if it's necessary because it could be all a wide of them all sitting, she lags, and then they go to place their eggs. I think that works.
I think so too.
What if when they all place their eggs, you get like kind of a quick like ting, 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 all the eggs getting placed, and then hers.
I like that.
Egg, 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 crack.
Are we seeing that? Oh yeah, of course we're seeing
Yeah, so that would
too.
be 4 shots.
Yep. Duh. I like that.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna copy paste. This is why I love working digitally. All you folks making storyboards work digitally.
Digitally.
Because you can literally just copy and paste your old compositions.
Woohoo!
And make minor edits.
Woohoo!
Do your composition.
We're looking at each of the eggs getting placed. Ting, 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 crack. I like that rhythm. But in the script, we have Zoe. This is kind of like the culmination of her lagging behind, is like she hurries to place hers as well. And that's what kind of causes it to crack.
Doesn't she worry because she's lagging behind?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Sorry, you just said that. I realized
Sorry,
that.
I
Yeah.
didn't mean to laugh.
No. It makes sense.
So my question is there a way to like build in that story beat of Zoe hurrying to keep up and keep the rhythm?
I think what we could do is instead of doing the clink, 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 we kind of show different angles of, and whether that's a wide or back to their doubles, of them like setting down their egg. Say Lonnie and David start the motion, Donnie and Ronnie end the motion of like putting the egg in the thing. You know what I mean? And then it cut to Zoe to where she still has her egg, panicky. Oh,
Right.
breaks.
So we don't.
That way we don't, because that like that clink, 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 clink.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the thing that's like.
that's fair. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong though.
No, you're right. It just, I guess I started by saying I like that rhythm because I'm still trying to find a way to keep it.
I see.
But that's just me holding on to a darling. So if we don't want that, what if we just shoot it slower. So it's like tink, 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 and then we have time to cut to a shot of Zoe's face, and then crack. Like,
Oh, I like that.
does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels like storybooky too.
Yeah, because then we can even sit on each egg like ting, and you look at it for a second. Ting, ting, ting. Oh, crap. Crack. I mean, she doesn't say, oh, crap, but, you know, you kind of get that. Or if we wanted it to just be 4 shots, I was thinking that we could, like, be seeing Zoe and then do, like, a big rack focus as she cracks it, but that sounds like a lot.
We can go back. No, never mind. That's cutting out the tink, tink, tink again. I don't know. Like, the thing with the tink, tink, tink is it feels like they're not doing it in sync with each other. They're doing it at separate times.
True.
That's what I feel like
That's
cuts off, like, the thing. And I guess that's why I was trying to translate with, like, the start and end of the motion.
Yep, that's fair. I get that.
If we wanted to, and this is still cutting off the tink, 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 but to make it a little bit more fun than just like the start and stop of motion, it could be like, I guess it could be that, but it could also be intermingled with like a bird's eye view. No, that doesn't work because you want to see the egg, or you want to see them being placed on the egg.
Is it too Scott Pilgrim to do like a split screen?
I was thinking about that.
Yeah,
It feels out of place.
it does, right?
In our edit.
Yeah, I
At
totally.
least based on like what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Just had to get that out of my head.
Yeah. Unless we incorporate that more in the dinner scene, so it can be like a specialized dinner edit.
Yeah, I don't know if that fits.
Got it.
Do we care that the tink, tink, tink isn't in unison?
I do.
Okay.
Well, I guess, and I can be outvoted.
Yeah.
But the reason I care is because like we're setting up this like traditional thing that these guys do, and so it makes sense to do it in sync. And then like the person who's out of sync is Zoe.
Yeah. That's fair. And we could. Did you had something?
I was just gonna say it's a suspension of disbelief moment. If we want to infer or make the audience assume that they set it all down in sync, we can probably like show them all move at once and then do the tink tink tink, and then it'll feel like they set it all down at once, but they just get to see each of them.
Yeah.
Like, so it's kind of a like you could trick the audience either way.
I think especially with like sound design, like kind of giving it a slowed down feel, like a dramatic slow feel could help to like,
or just having the other clinks also in the background of each. No, I don't know. I think maybe you can't do it.
fair enough.
I don't know. It's tricky.
We could. So what about this then? We come to the wide. We actually are already in the wide. As they all sit down and they go to place their eggs. Mm-hmm. So they all reach out in unison. We could come in for...
Except for Zoe.
We could come in for the close-up of Lonnie and David's egg being placed. We could be like on the close-up of David's, but we see Lonnie's in the background. So they both go down together. And then since Zoe's lagging behind, we have time to like cut to her reaction and then her follow-up and the crack. So it's all in unison except for Zoe is like a beat behind. Mm-hmm. And that would take out the tink, 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 but we'd keep this shot. We would just add like some background of like another egg in unison hitting.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. We can literally combine my first idea and this idea, and like I think it would work out where sorry to reach up so high. But they're not smashing it on the ground. Yeah. But, you know, they you know, lift up the egg, whatever, and like they start the motion. Donnie can be like the mid motion, and then we can do a close up of the egg being rested onto the gingerly placed onto the holder or whatever.
Yep.
And then contrast to Zoe, when we cut to Zoe, she's, oh, fuck, rushed.
Yep.
Smacks the egg on, I mean, not smacks it, but like is less tender.
I like that. I think that can work. Yeah. And I realized that that's what you pitched. And I kind of fought it to like hold on to that thing. So I appreciate you sticking with it, and I think it does work. This is I wonder if we still have that sound effect. Kill your darling moment.
Yeah.
There it was. So that basically adds. So we still have the wide shot unison, and then Donnie. We'd come into like a medium shot of Donnie doing the motion as well, and then we cut into this close up, and then we have time then for a medium shot of Zoe trying to catch up, and then her close up is the crack. Cool. An egg is placed in its stand.
Hell yeah, brother.
You bitch. And then adding in shot number 15. So then that sequence ends up looking like this. We got shot number 14 in the middle there is the wide shot of everyone sitting down and making a motion for their eggs. And then shot 15 is a medium shot from below as Donnie goes to place his egg. Shot 16 is the close-up of that egg being placed. We cut to shot 17 of Zoe being confused. And then shot 18 is her egg breaking.
Love it.
Beautiful.
Fuck yeah. What do you guys think of this being a good place to stop off?
That makes sense.
Holy fuck.
It's a long scene. Remember when you said it was shorter?
Fuck that.
It might be. I feel like it's going to be a lot of shot, reverse shot once they get into
Yeah.
like the conversations, though.
Yeah.
It's a lot of dialogue. We did a lot to like solve some problems, and I think it's been fun to get some work done on the show and show the audience what it's like to put together a storyboard and take on these challenges. You know, I honestly, with finishing these, I mean, I know I said this when we finished the screenplay about just like having such like a cohesive, like tangible thing in front of us, but I'm really feeling like as we get these storyboards done, it's really, really helping to bring it to like something just so real and like tangible. I mean, I'm going to keep using the same words, but it's like, it's right there in front of us. Like there's our story.
Yeah.
It's being told and it's really cool.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm excited to, work more on scene 7 and show off the storyboards that we've got for the remainders. Next week, we will be continuing our storyboards for scene 7, the dinner. We'll get into the fighting and the dialogue and things like that. And stay tuned for an episode soon where we'll be going over the rest of the storyboards for the entirety of the short film, as we'll go into kind of a quick revision phase.
Hell yeah, it's going to be good.
Fuck you.
On that note, pause for room tone.